had been with my ex for 7 years, married for 5. It felt like love at first sight, and everything felt so natural when we met. After about 2 years of dating, we decided to tie the knot. Soon after, we welcomed our baby boy, 4 male. He was a pandemic baby, so my wife ended up quitting her job while I continued working as a line cook and started doing Uber Eats on the side. After things went back to normal, my wife told me she doesn't want to be one of those women who loses their passion after settling down. So she went back to finish law school and take her bar. Of course, I wholeheartedly supported her, and we tried to make it work. After she passed, she immediately got hired at a firm downtown through the help of her friend Dumbo, 33 female. This is where the problems started. From the get-go, my wife began making good money. Good enough that she told me to quit my job and take care of our son full-time as she wouldn't have the time. I said no. I love my job. Cooking was my passion and even worked my way up to full-fledged chef. My biggest regret in our marriage had to have been her talking me into leaving, but I did and became a stay-at-home dad. Slowly, our married life began deteriorating as she started to pull away. She'd work long hours and barely spend any time with us. She'd go out drinking to network with her work colleagues on the weekends, sometimes even going out of town. At home, she'd always just be pissy with me. It's like her personality did a complete 180. This wasn't the sweet, nurturing girl I fell in love with all those years ago. Our intimacy became almost non-existent. Going through therapy, I can see now that I am to blame as well. I should have communicated better and shared how I felt. Luckily, the highlight through this was my son. Seeing him grow and being there for a lot of his firsts made everything feel like it'd be okay. One day, she finally came up to me and asked for a divorce. I wasn't surprised. I felt everything was eventually going to lead up to this, but I still didn't want to give up. I asked if she's sure about this or if she wants to make it work. I recommended couples counseling or temporary separation. She declined both those offers and told me she found someone else. Hearing this shattered me. Changing and us growing apart, I can understand, but never once would I have thought that she would be the type to even entertain other men. She told me it's some partner at her firm. Haha, when did my life become a Korean rom-com? She told me that he invited her out a couple of times and showed her the life of luxury she deserves. We argued for a bit and she told me that he's twice the man as me. She called me feminine for being a stay-at-home dad while his wife was working hard and bringing home the money. And what about me working 2 jobs during the pandemic? To her, those weren't real jobs. I was a delivery driver and a cook. Wow. She told me this new guy is an alpha male who knows a woman's needs and how to take care of her. She bragged about how tall and muscular he is, how he's a real job, and took her on weekend getaways that she told me were work related. And here's the punter. He's such a man. He doesn't want to make things official until me and her are separated. I almost laughed at how delusional my ex had become. I asked her what about her son, and she said I can have him. What? Likes me better anyways. I think this hurt the most. I couldn't believe she said that about her own son, throwing him away like he's some object. For the first time, I couldn't recognize the person in front of me. I won't lie, I did let the anger get the best of me and said some hurtful things back. I could tell she was taken aback by this, probably because I almost never get that angry. She turned around and left. After she left, I cried my eyes out for 2 weeks, hoping she'd call and come back. I don't know, I don't love her anymore, but life without her feels so scary. The only thing that kept me going was my son. I knew I couldn't turn to the bottle or go down this dark path because of him. I managed to beg for my job back and they rehired me for some weeknights only, which is better than nothing. I spent the next months just putting my head down and working in silence. The divorce proceedings were moving quickly, and before I knew it, it was official. The worst part about this was I felt like I had no support system. On social media, everyone was praising her for being this strong, independent woman who broke free of some metaphoric shackles. Like I was some villain holding her back. And not a single person messaged me on how I'm doing. And thank God they didn't, because this is what made me want to try therapy, and I haven't looked back since. For all those that are unsure about therapy, I'm telling you, it works. Now, fast forward to this week, I received a phone call from an unknown number, and when I picked up, it was my ex on the other line, bawling. She told me how her alpha male boyfriend found someone else, and she's too afraid to confront him because he's a partner at her firm. She finally explained her perspective and how everything led up to this point. Basically, my ex has admittedly always been really pretty and a social butterfly. After she had her son and the pandemic hit, she felt ugly and insecure. even if I told her she was pretty. So I guess when she got the job, she got the validation she wanted. Of course, feeding into these delusions was Dumbo, who recently had divorced her husband and poisoned my ex's thoughts with how I'm a failure as a man. How my ex is way prettier than me and she deserves someone of her standards. Apparently, I'm a beta male who rolls over and is stopping her from being free. She said a lot more specific stuff too that I think I'll keep to myself here. But it was definitely an eye-opening conversation. I shouldn't have pushed my ex away to be vulnerable enough to listen to Dumbo. But still, after hearing all this, I was really just disappointed more than anything that she would be stupid enough to throw everything away on some whim and peer pressure. My ex asked me if we could try again. She told me how much she misses me and how she took me and all I did for her for granted. For example, I always made her lunches in the morning, made sure she's up to date with her pills, and so on. She misses those little things. I admit to telling her that I missed her too, and I know our son does for sure, but she did make every decision herself. And what if things worked out with the other guy? I'm not some consolation prize she can come running back to. She cried and told me that she wanted me back a week after she left, but was too prideful to call.
Don't care.
I firmly told her no and hung up. Since then, my phone's been blowing up from friends and family that I'm heartless, that my wife was vulnerable and taken advantage of, and instead of picking up the pieces and helping her, I'm leaving her to fend for her. I respect her father a lot, so I heard him out. He wants me to come over for a resolution/intervention this weekend and bring my son. They just want a conversation to hear both sides and see if it really is resolvable. I'm attending, but I'm going to stay firm with my answer. But all the recent messages have been making me rethink my stance. I just want to make sure I'm not in the wrong before I attend. So am I the a-hole?